Oof. Okay, are we ready? I guess we're not. But we're gonna do it anyways. Day 6 of the League Uber Elder. Let's go.
I may not
Father, no!
putrefy, rot, spoil, and fester.
Exile, do something!
My mana is gone.
Gaze into the abyss.
That's slightly unfair. That is slightly unfair, dude. I could... Aw, come on.
Wrong to do
I could definitely not dodge that shit. I think I have a little bit too much movement speed, dude. It's not even easy to walk in there. They're a tag team, dude. Ah, it was phase transition anyways. Okay, no.
Gaze into the abyss. Embraced by misery.
Well, not the nicest kill, but for that gear setup, not too hard actually. Nice. Day 6 Uber Elder down, dude. Wow. Amazing. Amazing loot, dude. Holy shit, dude. Wow. Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So it's day 6, or actually it is actually Friday 3 in the morning, so not even 7 days until since the league started, and I just killed my first Uber Elder, which is insane. Like yesterday I killed a Shaper on the Ice Shot Slayer, right? And now I decided in the night after the Shaper that I just re-roll into a Blade Vortex Juggernaut because I just love this character. It's just so insane. And if you take a look here, I have now 16 hours played on this character. It's currently level 92. Has some actually nice gear, but far away from the state that I had last league, since I played this character last league as well. So, for the map showcase, we're actually going to run one of a high tier map here for the NanoCute, the master mission. So we can leech out maybe actually some Elder Lair map, although the boss sucks. Boss sucks in this map. So yeah, we're gonna see. I just wanna check if I'm getting any high, like 82%. Should be fine. So we're gonna choose up a little bit more quantity and open this one on NanoCute. So we are getting some more quantity, so more sulfide is going to drop. And after we collected the sulfide, we're going to take a look into the delve, because this is actually my boss killing slash delve pushing character. And this is what I made it for, and it's going to stay like that. So I'm going to provide now Uber Elder services since I can. I did had one, you saw it on the clip before. I did had a very unfortunate death, but the rest was actually pretty decent. Not the best damage yet, but still pretty safe with this insane life pool. But yeah, for the mapping, it's just like basically running through, right? And yeah, I know some people will say like, oh my god, you have a hat hunter equipped. Oh my god, how can you? Yeah, I know, but I have to use this belt because I don't have the stats to wear my bow. So that's a little bit unfortunate, because in the map showcases, I usually never wear a hat hunter just because I think not a lot of people can afford it. And once you get the right buff, it's just overpowered, right? But still, I had the Hat Hunter on with the Uber Elder fight as well, just because I cannot wear my bow otherwise. Not Abyss cause. But as you see, tier 16 map, Elder map here, fully like juiced up a little bit with some quantity extra mobs here. Not a big deal at all. So we're just gonna rush through, and yes, I'm skipping the Blight mechanic because I think at the moment it's just a waste of time. It drops like shit. Most builds, or at least like the unique mobs that are spawning in there, they are more tanky and do more damage than Guardians, right? And especially early on in the gearing process, it's super hard to deal with those, right? And they are going to one-shot your your pump anyways, right? So I don't think it's going to be a good experience if we're just doing it right now. But this is actually a boss killer and also how's it called? A Delver. That's are the two things that I want to show you here. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. Hey, we got another NanoCute map. That's nice. So, as you saw, boss damage, pretty sweet as soon as you're getting your Val Blade Vortex and your Val Righteous Fire. So, let's take a look into the delve before we are talking about the build. This is actually not too hard because I haven't pushed that far yet. I'm somewhere at delve depth 150. So, currently just using all my... Let's more route here. Currently just pushing like every time I'm gathering sulfide, I'm just pushing further. I'm not buying scarabs yet because I think my character just wants to have more upgrades rather than just buying sulfide to just push delve, you know. It's a little bit inefficient, I would say. Still, like for delving as well, like you're just like hitting your Val Blade Vortex. We're running Unleash, so we're getting 3 stacks every time we're using the Blade Vortex, which is super nice. So it's really a chill gameplay on that side, that you're just using it every 3 seconds or something to refresh your Blade Vortex, and you will have 10 stacks all the time, right? Also, I'm having null Void Gloves. That are the gloves that give you Rampage, so that's the Rampage counter on the left side. So all in all, I'm happy that I picked this build as my boss killer, because last league I had a lot of fun with this build. That's why I actually played it twice, if you remember. Once as a Juggernaut and once as a Chieftain. I'll go over the differences later on when we're talking about the gearing process itself. But as you see, delving is absolutely smooth here. It's not the biggest delve. I mean, obviously, if I'm able to run a tier 16 Elder Lair map, right, I should be able to do like a tier 13 delve here with depth 150 that we're currently in, right? So not too much of a problem here, but still we're gonna finish this one here. How much for carry? There you see the first customer for the Uber Elder carry. So nice. Let's talk about wait, let's pick up the loot here, and then we talk about the build itself, how I approached it without spending insane amounts of currency into it, right? Second. So, /D&D. Okay, so, the build itself, as I said, I played the same build in the last league. And I post a link in the description below, because if you really want to min-max this character, my last character was pretty much min-max, because it was somewhere in mid-league, so I had like enough currency to deal with it, right? Okay, let's talk about the gear and the gems. First of all, most important, we are Juggernaut, right? Ascendancy. Means that we have Unstoppable, means we cannot be stunned, and we also cannot get frozen, because freezing is basically something that takes us below our movement speed, the base value, right? And here it says action speed cannot be modified below base value, that's attack speed and stuff, and movement speed cannot be modified below base value. Since freezing is actually movement speed equals 0, right? I'm freeze immune with this one, and stun immune. Then we have the Unflinching that gives us endurance charges and endurance charge generation. Then Unyielding got buffed a little bit. It was before 5% increased damage and 5% area of effect per endurance charge. Now it's 8 and 6. And then Unrelenting just for more physical mitigation, chaos resistance, and reduced elemental damage taken when we're in full endurance charges. So this is basically the most asked question. This is why I want to answer this in the front of, right? Why Juggernaut? Why a bow? These are the two questions. Juggernaut, as I said, I just feel this one is just more tanky as the Chieftain, although the Chieftain delivers more damage, right? And this is also the reason why we are using here the Quiver here, or a bow setup. And this is because the Signal Fire. The Signal Fire gives us Fizz's extra fire, which is nice, but 50% Fizz conversion to fire. So this is something the Chieftain has in its Ascendancy, right? So if we're gonna check, if we open Path of Building here, if we're taking a look at the Chieftain here, I think, where is it? Nagahamu's Flame Advance, 50% physical convert to fire damage. So here we have it as an Ascendancy, and with the and here I take it on a Juggernaut, I take it with the Signal Fire to convert 50% of my Fizz to fire, as well as the Avatar of Fire, which also converts 50%, which is, it adds up as 100% in total, right? And since we're using a Quiver, we are using a bow. And since we are using a bow as a 6-link where we have our Blade Vortex setup, we're using a Chaos Heart, a lot of life, and fire damage. What we need, right? So, as I said, these are the most important things. So, why Juggernaut? Because I think it's more tanky. If you want more damage, go Chieftain. Why a bow? Because I need this Signal Fire to convert my fire damage, or at least my Fizz damage, to fire damage. Something the Chieftain also has as Ascendancy. Okay, first things first. Then, let's start with the Helmet Devotus just for movement speed. I know this is not like the best bossing DPS setup, because this one is at the moment in because of the dexterity that I need for Blade Vortex. So not a boss belt. So, and if you're saying like, oh my god, he's just killing bosses because he is Headhunter, have you ever seen rare monsters that you can steal buffs off at Uber Elder? Probably not. And also the Helm is more like a mapping thing or delving thing, because movement speed, and that's it, you know, a couple dexterity, but still no life, no resistance. Maybe a rare crafted minus fire resistance helm is better in that case. And a nice life belt, maybe Elder base with percentage life, so you can reach more than 8,000 easily. Here I'm having Cemetery, Cast on Death, Portal, and Herald of Ash. Cast on Death Portal is just my everyday mapping setup, okay? So this is just like, sometimes when you're getting in like frustrating situations and you're like, oh, let's drop a safety portal, you know, it's just like this way. If you die, there's a portal, so don't worry about it. But I haven't really died often on this character at all, so I just had the slots open here. For the bow, we're taking Blade Vortex with Fire Penetration, Conk Effect, Unleash, Combustion, and Control Destruction. The way Unleash works, I'm storing up additional stacks of Blade Vortex here, right? So that means I have here this number 3, right? That means as soon as I use Blade Vortex, I'm having 4 stacks instead of 1. After a short time, it's back to 3. Now I'm having 8 stacks, and now I'm having 10 stacks. And if I just map and just keep on, like, every couple seconds I use my 3 stacks, I will permanently stay on 10 stacks, which is the max DPS, right? Throughout the mapping process. Fire Penetration is not the best gem, but Empower would be better. The Empower level 4 that is, but it's early in the league. I don't really have a lot of currency, despite this one here. I'm having 1x 17 chaos, so with literally nothing here, right? So I cannot really afford an Empower level 4, a well-crafted bow with I don't know what the other stats that I had. This is a good thing that we talk about the bow here, right? Because people will say, hey, oh my god, it's a 6-link, it's expensive, I cannot afford it. No, that's not the case here. We had the Porcupine Divination card, right? This drops in Gardens, Plaza, Terrace, and High Gardens. And High Gardens is here in, I think, Act 8 it was. Yeah, here in High Gardens, where you kill Yugo. So you're just gonna run this. It's Act 8, right? So monster level 58. So not a big deal to farm at all, right? And the porcupines there will drop the porcupine card, and this will result in a 6-link short bow, and this is exactly what I'm using here. But if you want to buy it straight off the market, it is currently 3940 chaos for a 6-link short bow. After that, you want to have the on the bench 3 blue sockets here. That's a little bit more expensive. I did had another bow before that because it just didn't work out. It was this one with just 3 blue, 2 green, and 1 red. And I used what it is, an onslaught support in there, right? Just for more speed here. But onslaught doesn't really bring us a lot because it gives us cast speed. The onslaught gives us cast speed as well. What do I need cast speed if I press my blade vortex every 3 seconds once? You know, there is no cast speed involved here, right? But I had a green socket open. I was browsing through the green sockets, green support gems, and I didn't really find anything good besides onslaught, and that's why I took it. And after I got some more currency, I just bought a second 6-link short bow and just spammed the 3 blue, and then I got 4 blue, 1 green, 1 red, what I would want to have anyways, right? Talking about the bow, mine has a socketed skill, deal 20% more spell damage. It's a fossil, that's the etheric fossil that currently goes for 4 chaos. For the early stages, right? Here I used the etheric plus a scorched fossil. Scorched is the one that gives you more fire modifiers. That's why I'm having here damage penetrates fire resistance. So the etheric will give you the 20% more spell damage, which I think is super nice. If you just take a random bow, there is not a lot that you can get as a caster, right? You have flat fire damage, crit strike chance. These are all things that count for the bow as attack and not for you to use as a caster. The only thing that you can take is what is it called? The fire damage to spells. This is the one that you can craft on a bow to actually have some. Actually, you cannot even craft that. Nice. So yeah, there is, as the thing that I want to say is you don't have a lot of caster modifiers on a bow, so that's why I'm spamming etheric fossil just to make it easy as possible. Just like 3 or 4 etherics usually, and you have this socketed skill deal 20% more spell damage. And if you have a 2-slotted resonator, take a scorched in there so you have some fire resistant, fire penetration as well. If you want to run a 3-socket resonator, you can also take the prismatic. I think that's more elemental modifiers. So you're getting this, the one that I had over here. The modifier, pretty bad rolled here, 79% increased elemental damage. The tier 1 roll goes up to 120. So once you have this kind of bow, it's fine to use, right? But if you're taking back a look at my old character, so in 3.7, Juggernaut, Blade Vortex, this is the, like I said, the path of building of this character, my template basically, is in the description below. And this is basically the bow that you want to have. Socketed more spell damage, level of socketed gems, then multi-modded for support gems, increase cast speed, double damage, and chance to gain arcane surge, right? That goes with the cast speed. So this is the multi-modded special version for a couple of exalts, but I don't think we're 1 week into the league, or at least like not even 1 week into the league. So I doubt that anybody has like 10 exalts on his stash to try out the build and with a multi-modded bow, right? This is what I need, what I had for the Uber Elder, and it worked out. So everything that you spend more is just a luxury, and yeah, it will make the fight even easier, right? So for the chest Chaos Heart, if you cannot afford the Chaos Heart, anything with a high life roll and resistance. For the amulet, this is basically, if you have an Elder amulet, you can have Fizz's Extra Fire, which is a stat that we are using because Blade Vortex is a pure physical spell, right? So Blade Vortex plus this one converts 50% Fizz to Fire, this one converts 50 to Fire, and that's it. You know, that's why I'm having 100%. And why do I run Fire? Because Herald of Ash gives me the explosion, and also Fizz's Extra Fire. We're scaling then elemental damage, which is way easier than scaling the Fizz damage here. We have elemental penetration, which is also an insane damage modifier, and that's the main reason why we're going Fire here, right? As I said, Elder Amulet can give you the physical as Extra Fire. Other than that, just life resistance, what you want to have. The Signal Fire, as I said, this is, I was buying it for 5 chaos, yeah, 5 chaos, 8 chaos, 12 chaos. This is the corrupted version now, without any changes, right? I just bought the cheapest one that it was in there, right? Try to get a good Fizz's Extra Fire roll here. Then for the rings, this is something that I use in this league, but not in the old league, because last league we didn't have access to the synthesis rings. Here we have. I'm running 2 of the cheapest increased fire damage while affected by Herald of Ash and the Herald of Ash buff effect. So whatever Herald of Ash is doing, now it deals like 83% more of that. Actually 160 because I'm having 2 of those. Both are increased fire damage and Herald buff effect. You're actually starting at like 80 chaos when I bought them. One was 80 chaos, one was 90 chaos. So with a bad implicit, but hey, we're gonna try to save currency in the start of the league, so this one works out, and this actually gives you a lot of damage. Here I tried to take the Null and Void gloves, basically for the rampage that it gives us. So I permanently have rampage, right? It works the same way as the Viscous Leash here, right? So why rampage? Rampage gives you stacks. It helps on clearing, and also you get movement speed, and this is mainly for delving, right? Because I think I want to focus on delving in this league, and I want to push deep into the delves, and I think now with the fossil, with the delve tab, we're gonna have a better time collecting these stuff and then sell in bulk, and it probably will give a lot of money here, right? So I lost track. So basically, the Vodos, movement speed, Null and Void gloves for rampage. This is basically 2 items that I use for delving, but I still wear those items when I do a boss carry as well. In here, Flame Dash, faster casting, Arcane Surge, and Portal. Just the easy way to have, yeah, well, I'm always using Portal Scrolls, although I have a Portal gem here, right? The thing is, you want to have your Arcane Surge as low as possible, so once you use your Flame Dash, you're getting your Arcane Surge and you deal more spell damage, right? The reason why I'm not using Mirror Arrow is, Blink Arrow better said, it's buggy, okay? Like, Flame Dash is by far one of the most enjoyable movement skills that I use, okay? With Leap Slam, Shield Charge, Blink Arrow, like all of that stuff, sometimes you get thrown back. It happens on Flame Dash too, because there's some bug, I don't know what's going on. It's since 2 leaks, since they reworked the movement skills basically. And still I have the best thing here, the best experience with that one. And it's also looking... for the boots, just life resistance. For the enchant, I would like to have life regen, like 2% life recovered, or increased recovery rate, or 2% life regen and mana regen per second if you have been hit recently, something like that, the regen enchant. Custom damage taken with Steel Skin this time, increased duration and Val Righteous Fire here just to boost our single target damage on bosses. Yeah, that's about it. For the flask, Life Flask, then I have a Cinder Swallow Urn because Onslaught and Critical Strike chance. This is just a mapping flask basically. The Wise Oak, for the damage penetration, you're gonna make sure that your fire resistance is the highest here, so you're getting the 15% fire penetration, right? A Sulfur Flask for regen and increased damage with bleed immunity. I don't need a stun immunity flask because, freeze immunity flask because we're Juggernaut, and then a Quicksilver Flask to make movement speed faster. So we talked about the gems and the gear. Let's talk about the skill tree real quick. There is actually nothing too fancy here. So we're starting on Juggernaut, Life Notes, Life Notes, Life Notes. Here I have a Might of the Meek. Might of the Meek will increase all these notables, or what is it called? Notes, notables, keystones. Okay, I always forget this. So the notes, the small ones, they're getting increased by 50%. So instead of this one giving me 10 strength, it gives me 15 strength. And this also happens with the life notes here. As well as over here, and they're going for a couple of chaos. I think 10 chaos Might of the Meek is not too expensive. I also run a second one over here, so I'm getting 27 all resistance here, increased skill effect duration, and yeah. The only problem with these is they deactivate this notables, right? Notables. Notes, notables, keystones. Get this right. So it deactivates the notables. Luckily, this is exactly in the edge, so this is actually working, right? So we're boosting all these 5% notes to 7%, and actually 10% because they're too overlapping, right? Here, Jewel Slot. Here I'm using an Unnatural Instinct. This is something you don't really have to do, right? The thing is, an Unnatural Instinct will give you all the notes, like everything here, the small notes, that you have not skilled, okay? So I'm getting the skill effect duration, I'm getting the area of effect, I'm getting the life regen notes, I'm getting here cast speed, I'm getting increased effect of my curses, right? There is a lot that you can get out of those. If you don't have access to that, right? The thing that you want to do is take skill effect duration. Like here we have skill effect duration, a triple cluster, and here we have a triple cluster. Why didn't I do exceptional performance? Because Might of the Meek will block it. If you don't have a Might of the Meek, skill that, okay? So Might of the Meek blocks that, so I don't need to skill that, but therefore those two small ones get increased by 50%. The same here, I would take life, regen, jewel slot, and then take all 3 points in potency of will. Since I'm using the Unnatural Instinct, I'll get all the ones that are not skilled. That's why I picked up here Mana, and I haven't skilled those two because I get them through the Unnatural Instinct. Then, other than that, just live, nothing actually. What is this one? Free all resistance 10. Oh god, this actually shouldn't be there. Remove it. Big life, 6%, perfect. The rest is just like life here with fire damage, avatar fire important, life, Fizz's extra fire, Ellie pan, life, endurance charges, and yeah. Or the jewels, oh yeah, elemental overload. We're a crit build, but not like a pure crit build. Like crit builds go crit and crit multiplier, we are just having a little bit of crit, so we are proccing elemental overload, which gives us 40% more elemental damage for Blade Vortex. And this is a lot of damage, right? And for the jewel slots I'm taking here, increased fire damage, max life, and resistance if you need that, right? Life, resistance, fire damage if you want to have it. Just make sure that you're or at least like capped on your resistance, and also that your fire resistance is higher than your cold and lightning resistance. So, in terms of Pantheons, I currently have Lunaris for movement speed. I actually should take Solaris for the physical damage reduction, but we're Juggernaut, we're not taking too much physical damage anyways. And Soul of Yugol, this is the only one that I upgraded yet just for the Uber Elder encounter. For the bandits, I killed all, right? So we're not a crit build, so that means we're not like taking advantage out of helping Alira. And Oak and Cradlin, I don't know, like just take these 2 skill points because they will end up in like percentage life anyways in the end when you're like leveling higher. Alright, let's talk about the cosmetics. Kitava set, Kitava helm, body armor, gloves, and boots. With the Dragon Hunter wings, the Infernal Bow with Pit Fighter weapon effect, then we have Ultimate Chaos character effect, Bloodguard footprints, and the Kitava portrait frame with the Sunstone portal effect. With the Demonic Blade Vortex, Carnage aura effect, that's the red one over here. Then we have the Herald of Ash automaton effect, then we have Dragon Flame Dash, and the Celestial Righteous Fire. So, as I said, plans, the next plans, right? So I used the Ice Shot Slayer. It was a pretty nice character and a pretty nice experience to clear off the Atlas. Then I said I want to make a delving character, or at least like a deep delving character, and an Uber Elder killer for services, so I can provide the viewers with Uber Elder kills if they need it or if they cannot do it. This is this character, and now I will farm, or at least like try to make a build that is specifically for Blight maps, for the Blighted maps and the encounters there. Because as you can imagine, everything that doesn't have like full screen clears is not that efficient in clearing the Blighted maps. I did do some 2 or 3 Blighted maps yet. One actually failed because the timer was like 30 seconds until they killed the bump, so that was actually super unlucky on this point. I don't really want to try it with this character because I can just imagine that it's not going to be that well, just because you have to run around and run to the portals, and once, you know, when you're in the Blighted maps and there is like 10-15 lanes there or even more, and you want to kill you run to the left side killing off, they will push through on the right side, so this is actually probably not that great. But yeah, this is why I'm going to make now a character specifically for Blight maps. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this kind of build. It's definitely off meta, but a lot of fun. At least I really enjoyed, and I would bet that you enjoy too once you get a hold of it. And if you're leveling with this one, it feels a little bit clunky. You can take Blade Vortex on level 12, this is what I did. But it really sucks until level 38 when you're getting your Unleash, and from level 38, once you get Unleash, it's like really yeah, fun experience in the leveling process and also then mapping. So guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.